Hi, this is Janice, and this is day 8 of 100 Days of Code. This video is to track my progress, hold myself accountable as I'm learning the Python programming language. This is not an exhaustive video for training purposes, but rather to track my progress. Today I spent about 3 hours, I would say, going over some new concepts in Python, as well as reinforcing some of the ones that I've already gone over. Modulos, tuple, went over how to work with list in Python, which in programming languages, sometimes it's referred to as arrays or collections. Went over indices and just a number of different things, number manipulation. And this video will focus solely on number manipulation, which is extremely important when you're writing your code, because when you mix data types, your code will return a type error, and the program that you're coding will not do what it's intended to do. And so to be able to convert those numbers to strings so that way it's successfully coded is super important. So we're going to start by going over these mathematical operators. And these are basic ones for Python. Plus, minus. The asterisk is for multiplication. The 2 asterisk is for exponents. So for example, 2 to the third. So 2 times 2 times 2 would be 8. And so that's how you work with exponents. And then we also have what's called the floor division. And what this does is, I'll show you by example. So if I take 9 divided by, let's say, 2, it returns a float because it has a decimal. It's a float. It's not an integer because integers are whole numbers. You would need to use, or you don't need to, but if you use the floor division, what that's going to do is it's going to wipe off everything that's after that decimal. And so it'll return an integer for you. And this is important again when you're manipulating your numbers. So let's go ahead and assign a variable. We'll say grade equals 100. So this is declaration and initialization. I'm declaring that this variable, the memory location, is going to be stored for the data, which is 100. Okay, so this is the first time I'm doing it. That's why you're declaring it as this value right here. And so if I wanted to create a print statement, let's say just something simple. Your grade is, and then put grade. Let's see if that, okay, so this is going to return an error. And the reason why is because you can only concatenate strings. So remember I said, pay attention to your errors. You can Google them if you need to. This is showing me that in line 11 that I need to pretty much turn this integer into a string because you cannot concatenate integers. Python, the input goes in a string and it comes out a string. So in order to make sure that it's supported, you need to turn it into string. You can do that by using the string function. I was right the first time. Your grade is 100, or you can use the F statement. I'm sorry, the F string. And so how you do that is you're going to actually use the curly brackets. Let's make sure I have this right. You don't need the plus sign, and you put an F in the front. I believe it stands for fast. You're turning all of this, don't need that, into one string. Let's see if that works. Your grade is 100. So actually, there we go. So this is how you can manipulate your integers to